Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes, yeah. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes, yeah. Nothing can stop me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe.
What's up, guys? This is Rob, and I'm the vet.
Hey, this is Murph. I'm the maintenance man.
What's up, guys? It's Shea, and I'm feeling spicy tonight. What's up? Welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast.
Oh,
Good to
feeling
see y'all.
Spicy.
Okay,
I know
okay.
you guys were like kind of like just
Spicy.
keeping it status quo. I felt like I needed to throw a little zhuzh in there, you know?
Somewhat?
Some little zhuzh, you know, like
Zhuzh.
zhuzh it up. Yeah.
That must be
I don't know what that
a
means.
young guy thing. I don't know what the zhuzh is.
You know, zhuzh
Yeah.
it up a bit.
All right. Okay. Well, good. Zhuzh is good. I like it. Thanks, guys, for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics in weight loss with, of course, the coolest people from the bariatric community. And they add some zhuzh. I'm Rob. This is Murph. We got Shay, and we got you guys. So grab a chair, wind down from your busy day, take a seat at the table. So zhuzh, let me hear about this zhuzh, Shay. Tell me
You know,
more.
it's like zhuzh it up. It's like to make it like fancy, kind of make something a bit better. And
Oh,
I don't know
zhuzh,
why,
okay.
speaking of zhuzh, when the sexy time music was playing, we were
That's
kind of
zhuzh.
talking about like, yeah, zhuzh
Yeah.
100%. But
I
we were
agree.
talking about like in happy hour meetups and stuff. Wouldn't it be so cool? I don't know who sings the sexy time music we play, but to like have that person like
A
perform
lie.
live.
Oh shoot! I'm gonna find out.
Oh,
Let's
man.
do it. That
And yeah,
and we
if we
it's just a concert for
we
that
we should
person.
host
How
an
do you-
event in Washington DC,
Yeah.
and this guy will perform.
Yeah,
The sexy
whoever
time
he
music guy.
is, we're coming
Zhuzh.
for
That's the
you.
band name. Zhuzh. I feel like
That's
it's
the band. I
Zhuzh.
was gonna say that's the band name. If it's not, that's gonna be our band name.
That's
Yeah.
our band name. We're Zhuzh.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
we're
like
just
it.
gonna
I like
change
it.
the
Let's go
waiting
for it.
table to Zhuzh.
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 How
How
do you spell
How do you
Zhuzh?
spell? Yeah, how do you spell that?
It's an art form word, so
Yeah.
it's up for interpretation. You can
Oh,
You
spell
it's
it
like
can't
a
spell
however
a
symbol.
you want.
feeling. You can't spell
A
a
symbol?
feeling, you know. Yeah,
It's
it's a
just
symbol.
like zhuzh. I don't know.
Wow. Murph, tell us
Alright.
what else is Zhuzh today. I feel like this episode tonight is going to
This
be
is
Zhuzh.
this is the zhuzhiest episode we've ever had. I mean,
Wow.
we've got, you know, this is a show that I've been looking forward to, and I can't remember. Gosh, it's been so long since we've met with these guys, and unfortunately, we're only meeting with two-thirds of them. And Nat will be missed, but I'd still like to introduce, for those of you who don't know, Jason and April from Barination.
What's up, you
Hey, how are you
guys?
It's a
guys?
pleasure to have you guys on again.
Hello,
We've
hello,
missed
doing
you.
well. I'm having an issue with my earbuds, headsets, all the above. So I hope you guys can hear me, and I hope it's
Yeah.
not. Hope we're
What?
not having any background backfeed issues.
Oh, it sounds
Jason,
good.
turn up your. No, I'm just kidding. You're good.
I hate earbuds, or is that what they're called? AirPods. AirPods.
AirPods.
Earbuds, or whatever you want to call them. I don't like them either. So
Do they fall out of your ears? They fall
Yes.
out of my ears, like, and
Yeah,
and
my
you
fault.
guys saw it's like they just slip out. I hate them.
Thanks.
So I'm glad we can relate there. That's what we came on
April-
to talk about. Or all
April,
of
you
the
wanna
Apple
throw us a-
products.
You want to throw us a mic check? Are you?
I think I'm good.
You're
Everybody
good.
Yeah.
sounds great.
You're
Looks great. I mean,
good.
you know.
Oh,
See, like-
it's, we gotta say
Look,
goodnight
see?
to our
Hey,
kids.
Lily, look, it says live right up
Uh-huh.
here in the red, and the number, that's how many minutes we're live. And you just walked on in front of everyone. It's like, oh, I
Zhuzh 'em, Rob. Zhuzh 'em.
Hey, go to Zhuzh. Good night. Love you. Bye. Okay, you'll be good. You'll be okay. Dude, look, she's giving me her
Good.
foot, and she's just like, here. What do I want? What do you want me to do with this?
Daddy, you got a health
Hi, Lily.
Gotta kiss it.
without me?
Yes, I got a Hellfire shirt
Get
without
me
you.
one.
Okay, Lily, go, man.
Called you out, bro.
man.
Only if you
I'll
get me
I'll tell
one.
Lily I'll pay her later for
Yeah.
that. I paid her to interrupt and
Look, I had to give her right now that parent thing where you like snap your fingers and your eyes get wide.
The look, you're giving her the look.
I had to
Dad
give her the
look.
look, guys. Sheesh.
Here comes
Oh
kids.
my gosh.
Dude.
Oh, there's Marcus. Marcus is
Hey,
my bestie.
Marcus. We can't go on with the show without saying goodnight to Lily and Marcus. This
Okay,
is-
they say good night.
For those who haven't seen the past 15 episodes, this is the new norm, and I'm here for
Yeah,
it. I love
I
it.
like it.
So
So,
right after
Bye,
9,
Marcus.
right after we introduce everyone, my kids come to interrupt, and right
Right.
before the end of the episode, Murph leaves early to pee. So this
Right,
is
yes.
this is the new this is 40. This is 40 years old, guys. So
Mhm.
this is what happens
Wow.
apparently. Sorry, continue your answer, April. That Murph
welcome
was
to the waiting
asking you.
table.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all good. I don't have kids, but I've given the eyes and the look many times in classrooms and over Zoom. So
She gives it to me all the time, so don't worry about it.
I was just gonna
Jason's
say
like
that.
she has the look
Jason
down.
knows. Jason knows that look. He's like, I better
Yep.
shut up.
Yep.
I better go to bed.
I do it.
Exactly.
Well,
That's
hey,
awesome.
for those that don't know you guys, would you mind just giving kind of like your 5-minute blurb, each of you, just kind of introducing yourselves and just kind of sharing a bit about who you are?
And so I know last time we asked you guys who you are, and it was sort of in relationship to Barination, but let's go with this round about who you are, not
You.
related to Barination, right? Like we talked a lot about Barination, but you guys.
oh man, Jason, you want to start? You want me to go first?
I'm gonna let you go first because I know you love it.
Ladies
You
first.
would. You would. Well, yeah, I guess it's kind of a fitting question. This week has been a week where who I am as a person is being tested in every facet of my life. My week started off one way and it went a completely different direction. So who I am is an educator, a learner. I am a helper, I'm a doer, and I'm a problem solver. I've been this way for as long as I can remember. I'm a person who has known why I was put on this earth from day one. And it's been really interesting rediscovering who I am, I guess, at every stage. And as things continue to crop up in my life, I'm so thankful and so fortunate that I have that sense of purpose as a compass to guide me. So this has been a really, I guess, awful, atrocious, like, oh my God, kind of week. But I continue to go back to who I am as a person. So that's who I am. I'm a married woman, 42. I live in the beautiful state of Washington. I had BSG in July of 2019 after battling obesity for 20 years. My extremely supportive husband, maybe a year or two after we got married, just one night was like, have you thought about surgery? He almost lost his life then. That was the first time he almost lost his life.
You got the look.
You got the look, yeah.
He got
You got
more
than the look. You got more than the
He
look.
got a look, an earful, a novel, a PowerPoint presentation, all at once. But it really started back then, and it was the one time in life that I did not use my learner stance, and I just believed what I was being told, and did not look into it. So for 10 years after really that, I struggled to treat my disease of obesity until a friend was brave enough to share her story with me. And that's how I find myself today on your podcast.
That's awesome.
I love it. I've had a weird week too, April. You're not alone in that. I think it's something in the air.
I don't know. Mercury's in the air fryer again. I don't know. Something's in retrograde or forward grade.
Mars is in retrograde, actually.
Oh, okay. So Mars.
That explains it all. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Jason, we're going to give you 4 minutes.
My name is Jason. I am 47 years old. I am a husband, a father, a grandfather, and I had VSG March 11th of 2020. So I just got through my 3-year surge anniversary. So I, unlike April, was somebody who was unsure of what my purpose was here on this round rock we call Earth. So it was just kind of going along to get along. Thought it was family, thought it was being a dad, thought it was being all the things. But, and those were part of it. Those are always a big part of it. But it wasn't until after I had the surgery and realized how many people out there were in need of the same help that I was, that it kind of all clicked into place for me. One of the major quotes I've been hanging on to for the past couple of weeks that came up on my Facebook feed from a memory from 2014 was the 2 most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. And in 2014, my response to the quote was, I'm still looking for my why. And fast forward now to 2023, I realize that I'm in the midst of my why, and that's helping people become educated and breaking the stigma of the surgery that we've all had that brought us together in this way. And I couldn't be happier about finding the journey, but I also couldn't be more fulfilled by living the journey every single day.
Oh, you would. You would.
Wow. Hey. He messaged me on the side. He's like, hey, you want to see me one up April? You want to see me one up April?
Like, you want to see me do what I do to get the look?
Yeah. You want to see the look? I'll show you the look right now. Count it down. 3, 2. That was probably 2 of the best answers to that question. I got you 2, April. Don't worry. Those are great. I love that because I think a lot of times when we ask, tell us about yourself.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, right. And we go through the whole journey of it, like a historical sort of dialogue of what we've gone through. And the thing I think that I love about your answers wasn't necessarily what you've gone through, but what you've learned and what has sort of manifested as a result of that. And I think that is why so many people are drawn to Barination. I know myself as well, and to you guys, because it's not just a discussion about, oh, this is, we're talking about weight loss topics, or we're talking about something that's related to our surgery, but it's sort of the bigger picture in that. And I think I know we had on our pod last week, we talked about identity after the surgery, and for me the big thing is not letting go of this opportunity, not to lose weight. Like, it's not just a physical journey, but the opportunity to find yourself and get in tune with who you are. So I love that answer. That was amazing, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the biggest things that we always talk about is eventually your bariatric life just becomes life, and
Yeah.
it's going to click in eventually. And you take the time that you have, fresh, pre-op and freshly post-op, to kind of dial into who you want to be in your second lease on life, and just live it to the fullest. I mean, that's kind of what we all took the leap to have the surgery for in the first place. So finding who you want to be post-op, and finding ways to align what you want your life to look like post-op with what just your regular life, and you just kind of dial in and dig into that as much as you can.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, for those, I picture myself, I'm like a little over a year after surgery. But when I was looking into bariatric surgery, I was on YouTube, Google, like a lot of us can relate to that, right? Of going like, what's out there? I've never even heard of this surgery or what it's about. So if there's someone like that who happens to stumble across this video of us all talking, do you guys mind sharing just a little bit about what Barination is and kind of the backstory a little bit? I know you've kind of talked about it in other venues, but if this is the one video that someone happens to come across and they're considering bariatric surgery, can you just maybe talk through that a little bit?
If you are considering bariatric surgery, you are looking at an infinite amount of information that's coming at you from 8 million different sources. And you're trying to sift through what is accurate, what's true, what's meaningful, what's real, what's going to resonate most with me. If you are really in pre-op process, probably been given a binder from your surgeon, right? That bariatric Bible, as we call it, which is a wonderful roadmap for the first few weeks after surgery. But very quickly, you are going to realize that binder is not going to help you. And you are cast adrift in a sea of not knowing how to live your life as a bariatric patient. Barination is a community built by patients for patients that is your anchor, is your lifeline in this very stormy sea. We are an educational platform that is built to take all of the most relevant, most accurate information and education that is delivered by experts and put it in one singular place for you. And on top of the education, we provide you a safe place to connect, learn, and grow right alongside other patients who are going through exactly what you're going through. There is no judgment, there is no shame in Barination. It is simply a place for you to learn how to bariatric. And really how to mold and mash your life with your bariatric life, how to turn them into one. It's safe, it's warm, it's welcoming. It's the place that you can go to calm all the noise, right? To just put it all away and focus on exactly what you need to thrive along your bariatric journey.
Yeah, because in building what we kind of came together and realized that there was lots of programs out there for people, but when April and I would try to join them together, it was either she couldn't get in, I couldn't get in, we couldn't get in. There was always something, because there's a ton of things out there, because as we know, this is a probably 97%, woman dominated situation, which is fantastic. We love the fact that the women have been so successful and they've created places for women to go and feel safe, because that's extremely important. However, there was no place for everyone to go and feel safe. Like places,
Right.
there's not a lot of places I could have got in and got the support that we were looking for. So that's kind of why we came together, brainstormed what we did, and just created it, ourselves. So it's patient focused by patients. We also, we beta tested this thing for over a year with over 100 patients and experts from our community. So it's not like April and I just got together and decided this is what the world needs and here's what we're going to do. We made sure to create the assistance that people were looking for and continue to cultivate it in that way, because all the members at all times have, free reign to message us at any time and say, hey, kind of thinking about a support for this. What do you guys think? And not only will we create it, but we create it and staff it, so that people have the assistance that they need, because we know that this is an ever evolving situation and there's going to be stuff that come up that, we just don't think about, because just because, you and I may not go through it doesn't mean somebody else isn't. So making sure that we have the ability to kind of grow and change and morph with the change of the times and the needs that people have, is one of the things that we take pride in, because we knew from the get-go that this was going to be something that was going to be a living organism that was going to have to shift.
Yeah. And the thing that I am very proud about is that, right, we acknowledge that we are all experts in our patient experience. And instead of you logging into the membership community and us saying, you need this, this, and this, and you should go to this support group and this class, we literally present you with a menu of support opportunities. So every week you can choose from support groups that are led by bariatric therapists, like in real time on Zoom, that are targeted for what you need. So there's a group that's being led by a therapist just for bariatric beginners, people who are new, right, to the bariatric life. There's a support group led by an addiction therapist, therapist on addiction transfer. There's an emotional eating support group, right? There's a regain support group. And these are led by professionals. These are led by mental health experts that have decades of experience leading people in these very targeted areas. So that's on the calendar. Then there's classes, like educational classes, where you get to really dive in and learn something. And then there's space to apply that learning to your own life. And then there's meetups, which are more social, a little bit fun, a little bit lighter, led by patient moderators, so like myself, like Jason, like Natalie, where it's just a place for patients to kind of come together and be themselves and explore a little bit. So Barination is a lot, but it is a lot of exactly what we need to find success.
Yeah. And I just want to take a moment to like pause. I know when you're creating something as big as that, there's so many things that are coming all at once, right? Barriers, people that, are against it, whatever. But like, wow, the fact that you guys had this vision and are carrying it out, and it's hard to see things and explain things to people that don't get it yet. And that's what I see that you guys have done, where it's like, even, and I guess I don't know this for sure, but because it was such a new thing that you guys were creating, I guess I'll ask it more as a question. Did you was it hard to communicate that early on? Were there a lot of people who are like, I don't get what you're talking about. Like, this is weird.
Oh my God, it's still an issue.
I was like, it's hard to communicate now.
Still, right?
We just had a meeting about it last week. We're like, how do we get the word out better? Because what we try to explain to people is you have there's a 14-day free trial for you to come in and check it out. But having over more than 100 support groups or classes in a month, you can get a lot done in 14 days. There's going to be something every single day.
Totally.
Of that 14 days that you can hit and figure out exactly what menu works best for you, whether it be different times, different classes, different types, led by different people. There can be the same support led by 2 or 3 different people. Because you jump into one, it may not, connect with you in such a meaningful way. There's 2 or 3 others that are going to be led by different people that you may connect with differently. So.
Yeah. And it's, the messaging is difficult when it's so multifaceted.
Yes.
And it is a real challenge, because I think what maybe makes Barination, intimidating or confusing to people is it is so much, and you just can't believe that it's all there. And then many times when people join and they take advantage of that trial, they get in there and they go, oh my God, this is nothing like what I thought it was. And they really dive in and they really see and feel and experience, the value. And it's not for everyone. Barination is going to require that you commit to kind of finding that home space for you. And that takes time and energy and effort. And that can be scary. And I think the other thing that I just experienced along my own bariatric journey is thinking like, well, I really need this. And then I couldn't fully commit to it because I was almost scared to acknowledge that this is something that I needed. So there's
Right.
a lot of just self-discovery and willingness to commit and put that support group on your calendar, put that class on your calendar, right? Commit to going, click on that Zoom link. There's a lot of bravery that's required in doing so. So it's just a lot. And it isn't really like anything else that's out there. There are elements and pieces that exist all over the world, but when they're brought together in such a way, it's, whew, right? But what we do know is that hundreds of patients, hundreds of members access it, use it, love it. And we are such an open and like welcoming community that people message us every single day and they're like, this is what I love about this.
Mm-hmm.
And we can use their feedback, we can use their ideas, we build in space to just listen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that sense of belonging and that sense of just having a space where your voice can be heard and nothing necessarily is reverberating against it is just such a powerful place. So as we grow, we are also growing with our messaging and how we share the community. But it's because our members are so brave that they're willing to go, you know what? This is what's awesome about it. So we can take their knowledge, we can take their insights, and we can help those pieces grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you guys, you're doing a fantastic job. I absolutely love everything that you guys do. Watching your stories, your videos, and you've never, you guys have never hit any speed bumps with any of this, right? It's always been smooth sailing, and it's been such an easy process for you, hasn't it? Oh, it's
you
not.
hilarious.
Okay. So
You about to get the
Yeah.
so what type of what kind of pushback did you guys get, and how quickly, or and this is kind of all leading up to another question that we have for you, but what type of pushback do you guys get, or what sort of obstacles did you face or do you face, because I know it can't be easy. I commend you
The
guys.
hardest, probably one of the hardest things that we've come across so far would be once we put the community behind a paywall. A lot of people didn't understand what, because they're like, well, we get information from you guys for free on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else. Like, why, what's the deal with the paywall? Well, it was kind of a multifaceted situation because you may have your Instagram account and you've got your journey out there and you're trying to do your things. Well, you may feel self-conscious posting a Transformation Tuesday, be in your underwear or a bikini or whatever, and you don't want Bob from accounting from your work to see you in your underwear.
Exactly.
And so the difference with behind the paywall in the community is people aren't going to pay a monthly fee to come in and check you out or to follow what's going on with you or to bag on you if people don't agree with the surgery or whatever. You can be yourself behind those walls. But the biggest reason for the paywall is we compensate our creators for what they create. We can't have, mental health professionals who come in and dedicate time to what they're providing for us. Same thing with dietitians and all the other experts we have in there. We can't ask them to dedicate their time and not be compensated for it when they're giving up compensation that they could be doing in their regular practices. So the money, like April, myself, Natalie, we've never taken a dime off of anything that we've done. We legitimately put it all back into, what's being created or the back end, things to help run Zoom and all the other things that we have. So one of the biggest things was letting the community know that, because our community is, as you guys know, it's a very large community as a whole, the bariatric community on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram as a whole world. We're very large, but it has a very small town feel to it. So the minute people realize that you're in this for the wrong reasons and you're not being genuine and you're looking at it as a cash cow or just, an untapped market, it gets around. And that's understandable because, we're very protective of the community, as are you guys, as are, the other people who are here to help the community. And so it's one of those very sticky situations where you have to be very transparent up front and honest in the beginning to let everybody know, hey, yes, this looks a little different, but this is why it looks different. so that people know that it's not just we're not just being opportunistic for the, against the community.
Right.
No. It was I mean, I think the easier question to answer is, what haven't you struggled with? The answer is nothing. We have struggled absolutely every single step of the way. The very first podcast Jason and I ever recorded, I forget to hit Zoom. I forgot to hit record. You know what I mean? So it's like, it has just been every single step of the way. We have hit roadblocks, dead ends, frustrations, things not working right. And the only reason that we are allowed to continue to offer this like innovative system of care is because we have literally a nation of people behind us. Everyone on our leadership team, and our leadership team is robust, is 100% volunteer. We have 10, 11, 12, 16 volunteers who help us run the back end. Every single dime that we produce in revenue through membership is back in our community. Like, and Jason, Natalie, myself, every on the leadership team never made any money on this venture. It goes back to the experts that are teaching and leading and guiding in the community. Right? It's going into the technology that makes it possible to bring all of this expertise in under one roof, so to speak. Right? And so to have to get so creative to offer something so robust with such little operating cost overhead has just been incredible. Like Jason's wife, my husband, Natalie's friends, Natalie's family, they allow us to pour all of our energies into this because they're supporting us on the back end. So, we've got all of this support. We have all of these people that are allowing it to happen. And when we do hit a roadblock, we're allowed to just be frustrated, mad, angry, whatever. But we instantly have a team of people we can turn to go, okay, why did this happen? What went wrong? How can we fix this? How can we rectify this? And we publicly do so. So when things go wrong, we're the first ones to say, oh, here's where we here's where we made a mistake, or here's where we hit this hiccup. Here's what we've done to fix it. And here's what we're doing to ensure this doesn't happen again. Like, thank you for your space and grace. Thank you for your understanding. And we move on. But we have a team of people. We have a nation of people that are supporting this endeavor. These people believe it so much that they are excited to give their time and their expertise and their energy and their knowledge to this project. So, when everybody believes in the mission, and we are a mission-focused organization, we are not influencers. We are an organization of people who have united to change what bariatric support looks and feels like. That's a very different approach than other ways to do it. But we are on a mission to empower patients. And when that mission is clear, and when everybody is focused on that mission, whatever's in the same boat, rowing in the same direction, working for the common good, for the common betterment of our community, really good things happen. Roadblocks get moved, the road gets cleared, the struggle and the strife is still there. And if it appears on the surface that it's not, then maybe we need to do a better job of sharing a little bit of that struggle. But without the struggle, there is no growth. There is no change. So we embrace the struggle. We don't necessarily try to avoid it. We try to do it right the first time, but when it comes, it comes. Okay, we got a team to face it.
Yeah. Well, and I've always seen that from the beginning when I first got introduced to the work you guys do, just the passion. And it's like, you guys aren't faking that, like I hear it in your voices. I know that you have such a passion and vision and love for what you're doing, or else you would have given up a long time ago if you didn't have that. Right. So I just experienced this last week for the first time, just some negative comments. And I don't know, it's like, I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, to be honest. Like, you put yourself out in a public way, that's bound to happen. And I'm sure you guys, or I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have probably had similar things, similar pushback. How do you handle that just as humans? This is something you have poured your heart and your soul into, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. when you have, people say like, you guys are just in it for the money, you guys are fake, this stuff. And again, maybe people haven't said that. I'm kind of making assumptions there. But if that has been the case, like, how do you deal with that as humans? Because you're a human at the end of the day.
We come together behind the scenes. We are very vocal about our frustrations, about kind of how it is. We suffer in silence, and then when it's time to come out, we just honestly, we've been fortunate enough to we're always going to take the high road and just not even address it, because there have been, trust me, there's been plenty of things said from lots of different sources. So we just, we come together, we talk about it. April, Natalie, and I, as much as we have meetings with other people in the leadership teams, we always reserve time for each other just to come together, because it was us before it was anybody. So we come together as a group, as a team, and we let each other vent. We, reassure each other, make sure that we all know that we're still in it for the right reasons and have been from the jump. And, we don't necessarily need everyone to believe exactly what's going on with us. As long as we continue to believe it, we're going to put our best foot forward and pour every ounce of our heart and soul into this community as a whole, not just the Barination community, but the bariatric community at large. Because honestly, we don't. Our assistance comes from us not ever wanting anyone to feel like we felt post-op, and that's never going to change. Like the desire, the passion for that, the love that we have, it just fuels us to move forward to make sure that regardless of what else is being said out there, around the water cooler, so they say, is, it's just that they can talk about it all they want, but if they're not inside what's going on in the community, they really don't know.
Well, I mean,
And
hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Right?
No, go ahead.
So if people want to hurt, they're going to hurt, but it doesn't mean that my reaction or our reaction has to be hurt back. If somebody is intent, our friend, our expert of Barination, her name's Melanie Lindell. She's given us so many tools these past few months that have really helped us navigate this. Right? Like if you're out there to harm people, that's just wow. Right? People get hurt. Hurt is just something that we're all going to experience in life. There's nothing on the planet that is going to help us avoid being hurt. So when we can learn to differentiate, well, did that person just hurt, or did that person harm? Was the intent to harm, or was it the intent to hurt? Right? We can respond to hurt with kindness. We can respond to harm with kindness. But realizing that people's reactions or what they say when it is hurtful or when it does harm, it's more of a reflection of them and their life and not you and what you're doing. So to be able to just put a real quick barrier between that, it has been helpful. And we can always respond with kindness. That is always within our control. And that takes time and skill and energy. And when you have a safe place to vent and be angry and be sad and be hurt, cool. But it allows us to gather ourselves and respond in the way that's most genuine and authentic to us, and that is with kindness. So that's just kind of like one of our standing operating procedures, I think, within the community and just within all of us as a whole, and just realizing that sometimes people say things, it does present an opportunity for us to kind of throw anchor and go, whoa, we need to stop this ship, because maybe somebody has brought something to our attention that was just out of our periphery, right? So it's not that it's necessarily all of these comments and things are hurtful or harmful. Like there could be some wisdom in there that we didn't understand. So, we were recently gifted these tokens, they're anchors. And Jason, Natalie, and I, he's wearing his around his neck. I've got mine with me at all times. And when something feels out of control, or just like, oh, right there's a disturbance in the force somewhere, man, we're going to throw anchor. We're going to stop the ship. We're going to assess, we're going to evaluate, and then we're going to move forward, with a game plan. We don't have to instantly react, which is usually how I do things, right? When things go wrong in my life, I just want to like, oh, okay. But that's not that. I don't have to react that way, because normally when I do things don't go well. It's the same for my bariatric journey. Life throws me a curveball. I want to react. I want to catastrophize. I want to stress out. I want to do all the things. No, I need to throw anchor. I need to gather myself. I need to check in with my feelings. I need to really understand what's real here and what's not. What do I have control over? What do I not have control over? And redirect my energy to the things that I do have control over, and move forward in service of the mission, move forward in service of my purpose, and move forward with kindness. That's how we respond.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And all of the things that you and Jason both just said, to me, I'm just sitting over here, just kind of fangirling out again over you guys. Having you guys on the show again is so fantastic. But it takes me back to, I'm not gonna cry, the beginning of my journey, and just thinking like, look at how much further we've all five of us, and if Nat were here, she'd, and everybody that we have on the show, and everybody that's in your part of your Berry Nation, would we have been able to just say the things that you just said, 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Would we be able to have, reacted in that way or with that sort of mindset? And I'm just blown away by how much our mindsets have changed. Like the if anybody, like how Shay was saying it earlier, like if anybody were watching this segment of the show, like what would the takeaway be? And for me, that's the takeaway, is like every single one of us are completely different because we were given such an amazing tool that at the time was painful, didn't seem like it would ever be a tool or something that it would bring such joy, confidence. I mean, it's more than just bariatric surgery, and everything that you both just shared is just a real true testament of how much more of a life you can have after having bariatric help and surgery. So that's awesome.
But I think a big part of what you said too, Murph, is the fact that, there is that opportunity, right? Like bariatric surgery gives you that opportunity, but there has to be some accountability for you to actually commit and want to do it. Just like,
Absolutely.
April and Jason had mentioned, Barination may not be for everyone,
Yeah.
but it's for those people who want to make those changes and want to commit and make the most out of what they have. And I think one thing, and because we all know that there's statistics of people who are unsuccessful with bariatric surgery, and we see it a lot. I know I see it a lot in some of the message boards I'm part of. But I think fundamentally, a lot of the people who are successful have made the decision that they're going to be successful, right? And I think this transcends into a lot of different areas of our lives. And that's what I love seeing. And that's why, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's hearing about a lot of the different success stories that you guys talk about, or even interviewing you guys and having all these discussions, I love hearing how it's bringing like-minded people together. And the thing is, we're not all at that same spot all the time, right? Like, I think one of the most amazing things that you guys do is the fact that you do the struggle bus, and it's not just you providing an opportunity for people to talk about it. You guys talk about your struggles, because this is a constant journey that we're all part of, and we all struggle, right? And so I think, Jason, you talked about that transparency. I think that's a big part of it, and it goes back to you guys saying that this is a patient community created by patients for patients, right? So that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard. You mentioned, talking about the struggle side of things, because when I started dealing with Regain not too long ago, I came to Nat in April, and I was down on myself real bad, because I was telling them, I was like, how can we be who we are in the position we're in for the community? And I'm sitting here, talking on the struggle bus and doing the podcast and doing all this other stuff, public appearances and all this. And I'm like, how am I talking to anybody about what they're going through when I'm struggling with Regain, and I feel like I'm failing at the whole thing? Like, so I felt not only was I having, the thoughts of feeling like I had failed my bariatric journey, but also failed Barination as a whole.
Yeah.
On top of having imposter syndrome at the same time, And, she sat me down straight and was like, look, man, like we can't only talk about the bright spots of this thing. People need to realize that there's struggles, and the struggles can happen to anyone. And so, her changing my mindset on that even was something that lit a fire in me to make sure and let everybody know like what I'm doing, not only how I got here, but how I'm working at getting back to where I wanted to be. And it just really kind of revolutionized the way I looked at the journey as a whole, because I was so trying to be so rigid and regimented and down on myself, and making sure that I was so dialed in that I kind of burned myself out in a way. Because we talk about all the time, you'll get to a point where you just don't want a bariatric anymore. That may be a day, that may be one meal, that may be a whole weekend, it may turn into a week. But the biggest thing that you always have to remember is the journey's the journey. Like the road's always going to be there. It doesn't go away just because you turn down a different street. You can always loop back around and get right back on the path to where you want to be. The community's always going to be here. Support is always going to be waiting for you, no matter how much time off you take from the journey to get back. So you're either in bariatric compliance or you're out, but you're only 1 or 2 steps away from getting right back in. So for people that think it's a monumental journey and like, oh, well, now I've got all this and now I just might as well just not do it because it's going to be so hard to get back. It can be as simple as starting to make sure that you hit your water goal every day. And then after you get that mastered, get back on your protein, then get back on your vitamins. The next thing you know, you're back in compliance and you're doing it again. Is it going to be easy? No, but nothing in this journey is easy.
No. Well, the fear of being, the one that wasn't successful, right? The fear of being ostracized or not being accepted by the community because now you're experiencing regain. It's what keeps people living in the shadows. Not the only, but I think the biggest barrier to people's success is that their own fear of being rejected for what they deem as failure. I think one of the most powerful aspects to the greater community and to the Barination membership community is when people are brave enough to share, hey, I'm struggling, I feel like I've failed. They are not met with shame or disdain or anger. They are simply met with a warm place to finally gather the evidence that we love and appreciate you more for your struggle, not less. Right? When you are met with unconditional love and acceptance, when you expose what you think is your deepest, darkest secret, regain, right? Scales up, whatever it is. And what the community gives you back is, oh, okay. Oh, I thought that you'd like killed the kitten. Oh, regain? Oh, cool. Welcome. Okay. What else is going on? You know what I mean? Like when the reaction is just unadulterated love and appreciation for you and your struggle, mountains move. Move, and you can finally focus on your journey, but you have to get over that fear that you have been harboring. And it's not that every single person in the world is going to meet you with that, but when a majority of a community greets you with that truth and reality, you can't deny it anymore. And that's when you are really, I think, free of the fear. Mm-hmm. Right? It's when you can really just drop that bag and go, oh my God, I don't have to carry this anymore because there was actually nothing in it this entire time. Mm-hmm. And it opens up this reality, this plane of existence. It opens up this like capacity for you to actually commit to doing the work, because you realize now there is nothing left in the way of the life that I know is out there for me. Mm-hmm. And you can commit to the work of weight loss surgery, which is this. It's these conversations, it's these aha moments, it's those mindset shifts, right? The work of weight loss surgery is not eating less and eating smaller quantities at a certain time. The work of weight loss surgery is all of this, right? Like surgery gives you a tool. Cool. That tool is going to require all kinds of other things for it to work right. But if you don't use this tool, it's just a tool. A hammer sitting in a toolbox doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. You have to actually apply force and energy behind it. You have to use nails and you're building this thing with this tool. If you're not using that tool, you're not going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. You got to actually use it. And the use of that tool is exhausting, and it is backbreaking, and it is hard work. but it's also hard work living the life as an obese person.
Yes.
So choose your work, choose your hard. You want that hard? Cool. That's a valid choice. We always say this, right? There is no such thing as a bad bariatric patient. You are either making decisions in compliance or out of compliance. And when you get to that fork in the road and you have to commit to one life or the other, commit. And I don't care what side of that road you choose. You want to commit to living your life the way you did before surgery? Awesome. Okay. That just means a different life is waiting for you. You want to commit to living your life as a bariatric patient? Awesome. That's the one I would prefer for you because I know how amazing it is once you commit to that. But I'm not going to judge you for making that decision. That's a huge monumental decision, right? But you can't live in both worlds. You can't have a foot on both roads because the paths diverge. And pretty soon you're doing the splits and you are, right? Like we see this every single day in our community.
Yeah.
People are trying to walk both paths. Yeah.
Well, and the one thing I just want to call out too, that this idea of having a space to share things openly, like that's really new. Like not just like there's so many layers to that. It's new in the sense of like generationally, this is the first time generationally that people have been sharing things like what we've been sharing. In social media, it's new, where in the past, you know, when Facebook started, Instagram started, it was all of the highlights and you didn't share stuff like this, like when it first started. And so I just commend you guys. I commend us, everybody who's sharing their story in that way for the first time in such a new way. Like we're all trailblazers here. That's pretty cool that this is the first time stuff like this is being done. And like, I just wanted to say that out loud because that's pretty amazing.
Well, and it's, you know, we've always been able to share. It takes a lot of bravery to share, period, right? But we can't control what happens on the Instagram feed. I can't control comments there. But when we built our own house, I can control what happens in our own house. And you don't want to play by the house rules, you don't get to live in the house anymore. So do you want to stay in the house or can I escort you out? But the choice is yours. And we have very clear community guidelines. We have very clear expectations for how we behave and act and interact with each other. Like, it seems weird, but like we're teaching people how to interact with other people. We're teaching people how to bump up against somebody's journey that is very different from yours, and you're questioning it and truly ask a question instead of fire off judgment and shame first off. Like, no. This is all things that we actually need to learn how to do because it's been a very long time since people have I think like you said, Shay, like connected as a community. So we have to teach one another how we are a good community. What a thriving, supportive, you know, ever-changing, growing community looks like, because struggle and growth go hand in hand. So our community experiences struggles, right? People bump up against other people and ideas and things. Well, there's a way that we can bump up to one another and have that be a teachable moment, not a degrading moment, not a moment filled with shame. But you got to teach people how to do that. So that's why you join a community, to learn those soft skills so that you can learn the bigger skills. But you gotta have both.
And the one of the most favorite things for me is the fact that we have members that are in their like mid-20s, early to mid-20s, and our oldest member is in her 70s. And we have more people, like we have just kind of like, we try to section out like groups for people where they'll feel comfortable kind of hanging out. We got people that join every damn group there is. We have a woman that runs a 50 plus lunch hour. It gets bombarded with people that are under 50 all the time because they're the coolest people to hang out with. Like, and then the lady that runs the group's hilarious because she's like, I don't ID, so you can come on in and hang out. Like, we just have like, there are places for people to feel comfortable, but usually everybody in there feels comfortable enough to just kind of blow through everybody's stuff because they just want to be around other people that get it. They just want to be, they want that understanding. They want the community. You know, one of the most profound things that Laura Grabo, one of our professionals, left us with is community is treatment. And it is an adjunct piece that goes with the tool of the surgery that we had. But, you know, having like-minded people that you can bounce stuff off of without the judgment is probably the most important thing that we found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a missing piece, right? We need water, protein. Well, we have our pillars: movement, mindset, metabolic wellness. Community is a pillar. It is a needed and necessary component. And anytime that we have an opportunity to connect with somebody who's struggling, the only thing that they tell us that they're missing is community. And when they find it, they thrive.
Well, and that's where too, I don't think that community piece is missing anymore. It's just making sure people know that it's there. So like calling that out too, like you guys have been the ones to create that, like along with lots of others too, but it's like, it's not missing anymore. It's just a matter of, making that bridge and that connection. Like that's so freaking cool.
Well, and seeking it out, we are not the first one to come up with community. This is not like, we don't own this, but
I'm pretty sure Natalie TM'd that. She told me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's like why there's so many different types of protein powder. It's why there's so many different shoe brands, right? We do live in a modern age where we can take the Goldilocks approach to things, and we can try on different communities to find the one that works for us. But committing to a community and finding that space where we feel seen and supported, and we can get what we need in a manner, in a modality that makes the most sense for us. It is amazing. And obesity is such an isolating disease. We think that obesity is a decision that we have made. And so when we struggle along the journey, we think that the solution is more isolation, right? Like, oh my God, but it's not, right? We fight this with the opposite, and the opposite of isolation is community. So to help people understand that, look, you're fighting a disease, not a decision. And one of the treatments for this disease is community. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is. And if you haven't tried it, please do. Just be brave enough to try it one time. That's why we literally have a trial for Barination. It's like, just try it. We know that it requires a lot of bravery. We know that you got to trust us. You got to trust yourself. But if this is something you have never tried before in your fight against obesity, now's the time to try it. You got to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this disease. And if you haven't thrown community at it yet, give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. He peed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was just like, yeah, right. See, I told you.
That's kind of like, we don't have, since we're not like physically together. Normally, you'd have like a shepherd staff. We don't have that in this virtual setting, so we know when Murph gets up, it's like, oh, we're getting close to time. Okay, great.
Yeah, he's our timekeeper. His bladder is our timekeeper.
His bladder works overtime for us.
When you were like, oh, we have members who are 23 and we have another member who's like 70 something. I'm like, that's Shea and Murph right there. You're describing them. That's us. That's us.
Murph's bladder is 70.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. And he tries to be very ninja about it too. Like he'll look around and sort of
like
watch the playback. Like that's like he's not giving himself away.
Just ejects out.
He's just gonna be like this, and he's just gonna melt into his chair till he's off screen. Oh my
well,
gosh.
I'm curious. I'll give Murph a little break here because he can still hear us. By the way, we learned that he can still hear us. But what do you guys want to share with Barination? Like, what do you guys have coming up in like the summer, fall, winter? Like, do you guys have anything that you want to plug on that you want to share with what's going on?
I mean, just that we are really excited for what is ahead in our future. We've got some big initiatives. Our leadership team is really helping us focus on our mission. We are just excited to grow. We are excited to help more people. We're excited to continue to be innovative in how we support and educate, in and out of the community. Our Patreon is launching here really soon. We're so excited because we have some big upgrades that we want to make to the podcast. And none of us take a salary, right? Everything that we make gets reinvested into what we do. Launching that Patreon is really going to allow us to make some awesome upgrades and changes.
Yeah.
It's really going to allow us to connect with people in new ways. It's going to be amazing. So the launch of that, we are very excited for. And really, we're just, we are focusing on our mission, and we are looking to really grow and expand and Reg, I just keep saying this word, but we've got a lot of innovation that we are excited to try out and test run. And that's really what's ahead for us this year. We just need to focus. We need to focus. We need to kind of tune out all the noise. We need to just look deeply in the community, better understand what they need, and come up with fun and meaningful and innovative ways to serve that need. So you'll probably just be seeing us doing this. We're just going to get really dialed in. We're going to get really, really focused. I don't know
I
how many
love
times I can
it.
say that word.
Yeah, I've been super excited to start leading a class on Saturday because we were getting to a point where we were kind of light on stuff for the weekends. So I've started leading a group Space and Grace with Jason, where people just kind of come together, just kind of get a good start to their day to hang out and just kind of get centered with what the rest of their day is going to look like. And it's not real heavy. What's funny is the majority of the time it doesn't even get real heavy on bariatric talk. It's just a place where people can go because there's plenty of other things where you can go and find the heavy stuff. But in mine, it's just really a place for people to connect and kick back and just kind of enjoy, each other's company. So it's been a good time for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, going into the summer, I think I've got a real big life change ahead of me, like monumental life change. And I just keep, this conversation is just, it's really helping me just stay in that mindset that when these bumps in the road come, we all have choices to make in how we react and the decisions that we make and how we choose to shine out to kindness when that's not necessarily what's being brought to us. And summer will hopefully be a time of kind of that readjustment and just recalibrating and getting in touch with who I am and I think who we all are. And summer's just a really interesting time where sometimes things can kind of chill out. And in that chill, more things become available to us to kind of try and implement. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be joyful and it's going to be exciting and it's going to really open up some new opportunity.
Yeah,
And we're going to have a lot of self-care this summer as well. We're going to have self-care leadership retreats at April's place out in Washington.
Yes.
So a good time.
Oh,
and I'm going to pick up my grandbabies next weekend, and I'm going to have them for 8 weeks. And I haven't
8 weeks. Whoa.
seen them in a year, so I'm super excited. So we go to pick them up later, as soon as like the day they get out of school. I'm gonna be there to get them, and then we don't give them back until after the 4th of July. So I'm super pumped. They're 4 and 6, and so they are super excited to come hang out.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yep. Yeah, I actually get to hug Jason in real life this summer. That doesn't happen very often throughout the year, so it's gonna be big news.
That's awesome.
I love it.
All right. Well, for everyone who may not know, you want to share where they can find you, where anyone can find you guys?
Yeah, Instagram. We are very active on Instagram. We are just at Bari.nation. You can visit Barination.com. You can, on your podcast player, you can search for the Barination podcast. There's a lot of ways to get in touch. And I'm so proud that we get to say this, but if you think that there is anyone else behind any of those accounts, there's not. It's Jason, Natalie, and myself. So anytime you reach out, you are talking to one of us, and we are excited to connect with you. We're excited to share our story and just to help you along your own journey. Because when we help others, we help ourselves. It's a really wonderful way to kind of help us continue our journey as we also grow with you in the community. I mean, you guys know. So when you share your story by hosting these things, by doing all the things that you guys are doing, you're helping so many other people and you're also helping yourself. So it's a pretty cool way to give back and get what you need.
I'm telling you, this was the therapy session I needed for the week and I didn't even know it. This was awesome. I really appreciate you guys.
You can also find us as well at Barination. We have a ton of content on YouTube as well. I myself, you can find me at on Instagram at the THA_Smithsonian_ because the museum got kind of mad. I tried to use the Smithsonian, so we switched it to the.
I like it.
You guys are on TikTok as well, right?
Yes, at Barination on TikTok, no dot. The dot on Instagram is extremely important because we found out what happens if you don't use the dot. So
don't use it. Yeah.
Barry.nation on Instagram.
Yeah, or Barination on TikTok. TikTok is a whole new universe that we're like
Oh,
trying to
you're telling
understand.
us.
Oh
we're,
my
we're
god!
trying, but man, wow, it makes you feel old pretty quick.
Tough.
Natalie's good though.
Yep.
Nat's good. She has some good stuff she does with that, and I learn a lot from her. So you guys,
Oh my
you guys
God.
are in good hands.
Oh,
Yes,
well, we
yes.
know you Shay, you and Nat are the social media whizzes. So as long as
Yes.
you got a social media whiz on your team, you will be fine. But wow, that is a steep learning curve.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think we have to do like a dance combo with all of us. I'm gonna talk with Nat behind the scenes. Get ready, guys. Look at Jason's eyes. He's like, I think we got to
See,
do a collab.
Me and Jason are the same. We're the shake my head people.
Me and
While
Rob
everyone
need
else-
stunt doubles. That's what's gonna happen. Me and Rob.
Yeah.
Double.
Yeah, exactly. There
At
you
the
go.
end of all of our Instagram lives, if Rob's the one that like starts it, he's always at the very end. Shay gets off first because she knows how to work it, and then I'm still on
Yeah.
there just for a minute. And Rob, if you
How do
hear
you do
the very
this?
the very last like
Like,
10 seconds is Rob
wait.
going, "What do I do to turn this off now?" Mary,
Mary,
what
what
do
do I do?
Marcus,
You're
Lily.
young, Marcus. Wake up, Lily.
Marcus.
Wake up. What do I press? Is it
Yeah.
EX? And I'm just like this. I'm like, it's not working. Oh my god.
We all have our own skill sets, you
Yeah.
know.
We do.
Rob
we do.
teaches us a lot about history and how things were back when VHSs
Yeah.
were still around. I mean, we all have our skills.
Back
Put
in
the
my
pencil.
day.
You put the pencil in the cassette and
you
you
twist
turn
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you were really fancy, you had one that mounted on the wall at home. Or
Oh.
remember the electric ones? Woo,
Yep.
you
That's
knew.
next level.
You made it.
Next
You had
level.
a pencil sharpener. Like
See, Rob wasn't around when electricity was around.
No, so
he
this is
doesn't know what
before-
we're talking about.
Where we would have to like turn the wheel very fast to get
Yeah.
some spot. Yeah.
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 So
Mhm.
that
I'm
was,
older
you know.
than Rob is though, so that's a problem. So that means
No,
I'm
it
no,
doesn't
no, I'm
count. It's
93.
a mindset.
Yeah.
Rob's like
Yeah,
93
I'm
mindset.
93.
Jason, you're like 23 easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I-
And
is
Murph's
just-
bladder, on the other hand.
That's like 104.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, the turns we take on the waiting table. Thank you guys very much. That's all the
Thank
time
you.
we've got for tonight. Jason, April,
Always a
thank you
pleasure.
once again. Oh, always a pleasure. I always am excited for this episode, and I can speak for I think everyone and say it was a great episode. It was great to have you guys back again. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you to all you guys for joining us on the Waiting Table podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community.
1 pound at a time.
This is where we see Jason's
And
23-year-old
Jason-
come out.
And Rob,
Yes,
cue
yes.
the shaking heads.
Oh, we're going disco now. Murph's going disco. I like
I was doing
it.
that for Jason. I was doing that for Jason.
Nice,
That's one of
nice.
the dance moves from back in the 60s that he remembers.
Yes.
Rob will be the mashed potato. He'll do
Yeah,
that
at
one.
the
That's
sock
his
hop.
dance.
No, Murph's
Yeah.
been
Oh,
at
the
sock
sock
hop,
hop.
so-
That's right.
Thank you guys.
Good night, guys.